All right, folks, we're back. And it is Friday. Glad to be back here in the studios again today. Folks, this is your host. Who? It's Radio Strongman. Kim Wade coming to you live from WYAB 103.9 FM. Well, folks, we are back. It is Friday, and we made it through another week. No small feat, I might add. Now, the exciting part, making it through the weekend. They say crime is down, but with your luck, it's down everywhere but where you are. And we don't want you to fall victim to these streets. So as a public service announcement, we're telling you to get out, run, save yourselves. You're in an area that's dominated politically and demographically by Democrats. And wherever you have Democrats in charge, what are you going to have? Senseless murder, random violence. Folks, general mayhem attended. Hold on a minute. I'm on the radio, bro. I meant to call you on the break. I'm sorry. Yeah, coming to you from Jackson. If you're living in Jackson, traveling through Jackson, you need to be aware of this. These people are dead serious about their death-suicide cult that they participate in. I'm taking off the gloves. I've been holding back all these years. Now I'm going to tell you how I really feel about things going forward. So no more Mr. Nice Guy. The truth be told, well, the truth to be told is you're going to die. Anywhere you have a lot of Democrats, you're going to have senseless murder, random violence, and general mayhem. That is a given. You can take it to the bank. It's in season, out of season. It is the case. Everything costs more. They're going to cost you more. Anything that works, they're going to make sure that it's not working. Anything that's not working is something that they won't address. Everything that's working is something they're going to keep screwing with until it's broken. And let me be clear to everybody out there, you're not racist. You just got good eyesight, hearing, and understanding. And what you see is patterns. And the patterns follow certain people, certain groups, certain demographics, certain ideologies, certain worldviews. So quit beating yourself up over the racism crap and tell them to screw off and go on with your life. These people have made themselves, they've gone out of the way to make themselves unworthy of the assistance of our fellow Americans who've done everything they could for people who won't do anything for themselves. Those days are over. And to the extent I can usher them in, we're going to do it. No more apologizing to these people. They're not special. They're screw-offs. They make every life choice that leads them to poverty, degradation, and death. And when you say something to them, they're not going to listen. It's the same way with those bums out there on the corner, same way with the folks in jail. When they were out here on the streets, they wouldn't listen to anybody. Wouldn't listen to mama, daddy, teachers, preachers, no one. So now their lives are regulated because they're inside a Department of Correction, and now they want somebody to come in there and give them some special favors, an extra pillow. And as I've said and been saying to you down through the years, at the end of every legislative session, the only people seem to get served are the school teachers getting raises and criminals getting more of their freedoms back. Everybody else pays for those two groups all the time. So if you want life to be better, you're going to have to fight for the correctness of how to live life. Because what's happening now in America, and particularly in melanated communities, these people don't forgot how. No, a generation have not been taught how to live amongst others. They're straight up heathens, and their kids are going to be worse. And you want me to sugarcoat it. I know some of you don't like my tone, the way I say things. Well, guess what? You ain't listening when somebody said it nice. So whatever. You have to get over it because you ain't listening anyway. If I had came in there like Billy Graham with my hands folded behind my in back of me and speaking to you in sweet, soft tones, you would still say screw off in your actions. That's what you would say. That's what you would do. So I'm not concerned about how you feel about my tone because you ain't concerned about how we feel about how you're tearing up our society. So yes, it's going to be a tougher stance. You're not special, and this is what everybody's coming to realize all these years. The Letitia James and the Fannie Willises of the world, the one who bought into that black girl magic, Stacey Abrams, now all their butts on the line for jail time. All because they bought into Uncle Sam's notion, hey, you're special. And when you were special once before Sam, that's when you were being persecuted. And yet you still all up in interacting with that man, Uncle Sam, with no caution. Like I said, you just like Travis Hunter. You just won't take counsel. And the inevitable is going to happen. She's going to dump that boy and take his money as soon as that baby drops. You can see how she's acting. She acting like that girl that Elon Musk got pregnant. He giving her $100,000 a month and all expenses for the baby, and she's still acting a fool. It's that get over mentality these women have been indoctrinated with over the last 20, 30 years. But that's okay. There's something out there called reality. Karma and reality, they go together. So it's just a matter of time for that little skank, Elon's girlfriend, baby mama, whatever, she'll realize the errors of her ways. See, they don't want to cooperate. They're always scheming and trying to dominate. Elon, the woman is for the streets, dog. That's an entertainment woman. That's an entertainment 304. And for those of you who don't know, 304 is hoe, spelled with numbers. So we're just going to we're going to be clear-eyed and calling things out, because everybody who wants to live their, what they call them, living their truth. Well, the truth is, you do a lot of things that don't make sense and a lot of things that don't work. And I'm telling you that I, Kim Wade, taxpayer, number one, I ain't giving you a dime. That goes for you bums out there. Now, there have been occasions when the Holy Spirit hit me, give it to him. Where was it? Where were we? In Nashville. And this young guy. I normally I wouldn't give to a young person anyway. Just wouldn't do it. Parking the car. Going up, one of those, like the meters they got downtown, you got to go put the money in there. So I'm standing up there, and I saw him, he saw me, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, he asked me for some money. No, I ain't giving you no money, dog. But he was so polite and gracious. He didn't act a fool. He didn't call me names. So I went on, I think I had $8 in my pocket. But for the rest of y'all, I'm not doing it. I don't think it's good for you to have an imbalance in your relationship. That's why you don't give people something for free. That's the problem that I have with the approach being offered by this new mayor that we have. It's just a continuation of the giveaway crap. And I don't have any problems with helping people get on their feet, helping them with housing, anything else. But this attitude where don't nobody have to give anything back, don't have to do anything, that's a recipe for disaster. You don't do that with your own kids. You don't do it with anybody else in society. It's only these poor folks. That's what I keep telling y'all about these nonprofits and the folks who's serving in them. They're getting high on this stuff. They're getting high on serving. Now, this is an observation. This is not a condemnation. But it's still unacceptable to me because they're making the problem worse. This is why when I tell you that Jackson ain't going to make it, I can pretty much guarantee you it's not. Do you realize all somebody has to do is drop $100,000 grant and say this grant is going to be for the nonprofit that helps the worst of the worst coming out of the prison system. And they take that $100,000 and plot a house down in the middle of Fondren. Baby, how many of those miscreants do you think it will take to destroy that neighborhood when you got a few child predators moving around in your neighborhood? That's what I'm saying. Jackson is being set up to be the chamber of commerce for the rest of the state that wants to grow. Jackson is going to be the place where you send all your miles. We may as well put a Statue of Liberty on the border out there coming into town. Give us your huddled masses, because that's what we're getting. As I said before, Jackson is going to be a community where there's going to be houses and medical facilities, liquor stores, daycares, churches, every vacant. And you can tell when the city's not coming back when they start putting churches in every building that goes vacant. And there's an economic component as to why they did Why that's done because of the, you donate to a nonprofit, you can get that off as a write-off, because if it ain't going to sell. But I'm just telling you, there is a way we can fix these things, but again, there's no interest in it. This is why I know the policies that's being promoted by Mayor John Horn aren't going to work. First of all, they hadn't worked anywhere, and they hadn't worked here. They hadn't worked with his predecessors. They ain't going to work for him. And the simple thing is, all you got to do is ask people to contribute. They won't even do that. That's why somebody says, oh, you lost to John Horn. No. Jackson lost. And at the end of 4 years with John Horn, guess what they're going to do? They're going to come back to the ideals that you heard me speak of on the campaign trail. And it's not because it's Kim Wade's ideals. These are the things that work. And they refuse to do it because there's no money in it for them. That's not how they've been making their money. Jackson is going to be the city of woe. You come here when you're down and out. You need help. So there's no need to get mad about these other cities dumping their folks into your town. You're making it available to them. We were talking just during the break about the need for hospice care. I don't know. Why did they shut down that hospice care up there in Ridgeland, up there on Town Center? Beautiful building. The last time I went by there, it was shut down. And they only got a couple in the state. I'm saying, but we got plenty of facilities for everything else. See, that's where that certificate of need is. There's plenty of need in the state for that, for the hospice care and assisted living, etc. But it's so overly regulated, I guess. I don't know. The lawyers got it like that. But having said all that, folks, you're being denied solutions, just like what they're doing over there, starting World War III. Roger Wicker, Dick Blumenthal, Lindsey Graham. These people are just evil. They always up to something to destabilize the quality of life here in this country and around the world. That's why I said I'm done with it. I'm done pretending with these folks. And to the extent that we can make a difference, they're not going to allow you to do it. Same way, look, we didn't have the money for the border wall during Trump's first administration. Now we got to spend $1 trillion to let in, to get out of the country those 20 million people that Biden let in illegally. They just cause one problem after another and then demand that we My suggestion is, folks, we can cut the head off this thing by just quit supporting the people at the bottom that support them with their vote. Button your purse until you get their attention. Now, if you don't want to do it, then just endure it, okay? But I'm telling you, south of I-20, your neighborhoods are not coming back anytime soon. Anytime soon. But at least you got a grocery store down there on Raymond Road, at least. For now. But if you wanted things to be better, vote better. But as I said before, I'm not wishing bad luck on John. John's got a plan that don't work. And you signed on to it. 16,000 y'all signed on to it. Let's see how this is going to work. Because now I got trash talking rights now. I done put my hat in the ring. And you're going to find out that there's a method to the madness, which was my campaign. Oh, so that's where he was going with that. You're going to see some things come out of this. And some of y'all in the political world, you're not going to be happy. But there's more than one way to disrupt the cat. And we're going to do that. Our hotline number is 601-879-0002, EliteRoofer.com. In another hour, and that would be 9 minutes. No, 39 minutes. It'll be the beginning of the Gun and Knife Club here in the city of Jackson. You need to be strapped down in Jacktown, or you be laid down with your cap peeled back, pockets empty, and victim scratched in your forehead. Don't let that. All right, folks, we're back. And it is Friday, and the Gun and Knife Club is going to begin in earnest. Now, you know, as the temperature rises, and what day of the week? This is the 7th. This is, what? Oh, I'm on the wrong calendar here. So the money's flowing through the community here. So people are out getting drunk. They've been to the medicine store. They got the drug of their choice. They're getting high. And I'd imagine you got a good chance of getting shot. Over a pork chop, stepping on the shoe, or just general, hey, I don't like you. I don't like the way you looked at me. And you know how, these folks listen to that rap music and they want to live it out. That means you got to die. Because they need street creds and they need them now. So if they got to crack your head open to get it, hey, you got to crack some eggs to have some, to have breakfast. So that's what's going to happen here. But look, let's get to the topic of the day. Elon. Oh, we got Willie on the line? Our good friend Willie's on the line. Hey, Willie. Uh-oh. There he is. Willie, you there? Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Willie.
Right. Well, I was just trying to find out what you thought about, what his name, Jeffries, when he made the statement that he was going to put out
Hakeem Jeffries.
all of the ICE people's names, make them known to the American public. But I never heard them say anything about when Antifa or whatever they call it, or these people that go on the protesting against Jews and all that, they have masks on. I don't hear anything about that.
You're not going to hear it, Willie. They're evil people. That's what evil people do. There's no need to even be surprised when we get into power as we get into power as we are now. We need everybody to be rolling in the same direction, in this case with President Trump. But yet you still have people, well, he didn't get enough budget cuts. He didn't get enough of this. Dude, he's one person. He's working against everybody in D.C. who don't want this. And then you're talking about how he's failing. And I ain't talking about you. But, dude, we got to realize who we're dealing with. We're dealing with evil. When we get in these positions, we got to be resolute that if we want that tomato plant to grow up straight, we got to put that rod in the ground near that plant. And many folks don't want to do what needs to be done. They want the tomato plant just to grow up straight. They're not going to do it. So there's no need to act surprised. They're evil people.
I said to myself when I looked at him and when he was making that statement today, and also that mayor of Boston,
right?
And, they realize that they obviously are the children of faith, because they have to be, and that's my opinion about it.
Well, listen,
they have to be the children of faith.
Let me ask you something. You have more than a nod and acquaintance with God and with His Word. What does the Word say that they are?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Stand on it. Stand on it. You don't have to question yourself as to why they're doing it. They're evil people, and deal with them accordingly. But see,
I'm going to hang up there. You take care, okay?
Thanks, Willie. No, in all seriousness, folks, really, stop. The president is not going to get everything he wants in this bill or in any bill. The people that were in his foxhole, the people who he campaigned for, the Cindy Hyde-Smith, the Michael Guest, they all rode his jock, but they won't stand on principles. They won't do what's right. But now, Cindy Hyde-Smith and Michael Guest, those are our problems. Because when we had a chance to swap Michael Guest out, just to send a message to the person who come behind him, we will send you home too, we kept him. Did the same thing with Wicker. So why are we acting surprised that these people are acting like that? We're acting like Travis Hunter. Like we're too weak to fight. We don't have the muscle for this hustle. And if you're scared, say it and quit shaking and faking and asking, why won't they do right? They're evil people. They do it just to see the look on your face. This is why I'm so strident as I deal with black Democrats. These people have screwed up our community. They have ruined it. Whether they set out to do it, I won't say that. But at this point here, they don't want to take any. Look, remember? They were sitting around taking any plaque or award they could get or certificate for what they did back in the day. But now when we sit here in 2025 or June of 2025 and we look at the mess that is our community, oh, ain't none of them got anything to do with it. A lie? I'm pointing at you. I'm looking at you. I'm calling you out by name. It's y'all. You got this wrong, dog. So what are you going to do to fix it? Rather than trying to cover your butt, what are you going to do to fix it? That's why I said, no, I'm not letting up. I'm calling black Democrats. They are the ones who broke our society. They're the ones who broke the black community. They made all these bad deals. They entered into all these bad relationships. And if you doubt what I'm saying, why is Hakeem Jeffries ready to strip the mask off the ICE agents? And as Willie pointed out, but not Antifa. He's going to be the next Speaker of the House if the Democrats take over. What does it mean for black people? Nothing. Nothing. There's not a black politician on the national stage today that can point to anything they're doing that black people say, yeah, we need more of that. No. Not one. Jasmine Crockett gave a speech at Benny Thompson's alma mater. She didn't tick off his accomplishments. She gave the same speech Benny gave 40 years ago. Or 30 years ago, whenever he first went to the to the Congress. The same old white people evil. They holding you back. Racism everywhere. Yada, 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 yada. And then when they get up there in a position where they can strike a blow against something, all they worried about is what policy the Democrat Party were. They worried about the illegals. They worried about the gays. They ain't fixed nothing in the black community. Not a damn thing. And the gays done came up out the mud. Now they walking around here running things. No, black leadership is weak, man. As I said before, like I said on yesterday, if their governance was if it had a credit report for the way they govern, they'd have a 300 credit score, and that would be on the high side. And then you won't acknowledge it. You the rank and file blacks, you ain't demanding nothing better. You know why? Because you ain't hungry yet. This is why I said the best way to break all this up at the door, withdraw your hand of support from the black community and let us depend on ourselves for a while and see how that works out. I bet you'll find a whole lot of Uncle Toms crossing out. Hey! We're unserious people. And the evidence is, look at our kids. These kids didn't come out of the womb bad. We ruined them. Black folks are always talking about white folks teaching their kids racism. What are you teaching ours? You're not teaching them reading, writing, and arithmetic. So what are we going to do? Oh, John Horn's the answer. Okay. Well, we got 4 years. And like I said before, you're going to make the points. You're going to verify the points that I've been making. The guilt-ridden whites and the grifting blacks, everything's going to be made manifest over the next 4 years. Ain't nothing going to change. Schools aren't going to get any better. There's no money to fix the roads. So how much money do you think the state's going to give the city of Jackson to fix its infrastructure problems? Just give me a guess. You honestly think that they're going to be just raining money down on us? Okay. We're going to see. We're going to see. Because whether Tate won it, or Delbert wants it, or whoever, why didn't they do it before? And if everybody's such good dialogue, folks, why couldn't they just talk the Chokwe? I mean, because everybody black, right? Folks, we're full of crap. This stuff is not working. It's not going to work. And if you want it to work, all you have to do is invite people to fix their own lives. No, because these people are getting high off the notion that they're helping people. You see how excited they get to give away water rather than just fixing the water system? I remember when the city of Jackson when we had that water crisis, and afterwards, the mayor, Chokwe, he had an actual banquet to give people awards and certificates for passing out water. Give me a break. Our number, 879-0002. EliteRoofer.com. Their number 601-326-2755. And Willie, look, all I'm saying is, bro, there's no need to be surprised. We need to save that energy and start working on that which we know is right and just stand on it. This is why I keep saying about the Christian community. Everybody's so big trying to show their love. You want to really show some love? Tell them the truth. Well, you know, I don't need the hassle and the blowback from that. Okay. You don't think Christ experienced a little hassle and blowback? Either you're in or you're not. Okay. Let's take a break. All right, folks. We're back. One more. Nothing's there. Testing. All right, there we go. All right, we're back, folks, and it is Friday. Glad to be back here in the studios. And folks, all I'm saying is I'm cutting the crap. I'm not putting up with this. No. These people, they're not fair. They're not equitable. They're not trying to fix the country. They're not trying to make things better. They're just doing every damn thing they want to do the way they want to do it anytime they want to do it. Now, if you want to go along with it, if it makes you feel good, fine. I ain't fooling with you either. Because one of the things I've noticed, these people can't pull their own weight. And all we got to do is get their attention, quit feeding them. Benny's not going to share his money. None of these black politicians are going to share theirs. It's going to collapse. And once the chaos that will ensue and what comes out of that is what we'll pick up the pieces and build a better society. But this whole notion, we're constantly building houses for these folks, giving them this, giving them that, and they're just more ingratitude piled on top of more. I'm not doing this anymore. I am simply not doing it. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Mobile. Hey, buddy. Hey, man.
Hey, so listening to you and the other guys talk earlier, so you mentioned the mayor of Boston. What's he talking about too? What did he say?
Yeah, they're all talking about you can't arrest the illegals and all. It's just just whatever they can do to make it hard for America. It's just the same typical Democrat crap.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe something different, bro. Say same old, huh?
Yeah, they're harassing the ICE agents as they try to do their job, and just like I said before, why are we these people cannot pull their own weight, but for the white man in this country. Everybody else would be sitting around their finger in their ears looking crazy, waiting on Sally Struthers to drop some gruel in a plastic bowl for them. White folks need to flex. You need to flex. You need to show your red baboon booties. And just say, no, we ain't doing this. We're going to get some more. To be just like at the family picnic, all the kids got to sit their butts down before they get the ice cream. Got to sit down in a row, too, and wait your turn. We letting these people run us? Man, this is getting old.
It's getting very old. Yeah, like you said, or you said before, you want to unmask ICE, but Antifa with their mask was fine.
Right. Because Antifa was them, it was the government. It was Chris Wray's FBI and Homeland Security under Mayorkas. And this is why I said, cut Trump some slack. He's one guy. He got us this far. Damn. It ain't like you on the clock 24 hours a day fighting for America. You sitting back when you got time reading your email. Oh, yeah, I don't like that about Trump. Man, give it a break.
Exactly. Absolutely, exactly. I mean, and Elon, to understand, I cut him a lot of slack as well. However, he needs to realize, dude, you are not the president.
Right.
It is Trump's agenda that gets forwarded, not yours. You may think it's a better idea. In some cases, maybe, but it's a better idea if it can be accomplished. If it can't get accomplished, then it's not better.
and there's no
done is what's better.
And Elon shouldn't be surprised as it relates to the cuts that came his way as the EV discounts that the government was subsidizing for. Dude, that's what you were doing at Doge.
Exactly.
Don't act surprised. This is part of it, and everybody's got to have some pain, huh?
When it benefits you, the waste is okay, huh? But that's what I don't think. I get Elon. Yeah, you don't. I mean, because it's still wasted in the government budget. Your waste isn't nearly as bad compared to other grand scheme of things, and you actually helping make the country better. So I want to get you. But let's not get mistaken. Subsidizing these EVs was government welfare.
Right.
It's a high-level government welfare, but it's still welfare. People they can't afford your car unless they get this check or this tax credit or whatever.
But now you know the deep state is going to approach, if they have not already approached Elon, to try to drive this wedge even wider.
Yes.
But, you know, this is why we pray and lift up our president, lift up our nation. And I pray that Elon comes to his senses. But, of course, you know, again, I appreciate as far as I appreciate for what he's done. If they've had a split up and they're not going to make it, it's going to be what it's going to be. You know,
Exactly. I appreciate what you've done. I guess, you didn't have to do it.
Right.
You paid some cost for it, and we appreciate it because a lot of folks wouldn't have paid that cost.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to aid. Washington is a game of give and take. You give and you try to take and get what you can when you can, but you're not going to get unless Trump is prepared to declare himself dictator. Unless you're willing to raise an army so Trump can be the dictator, you're going to have to work with what you got.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, and see, this is why, and this is what I learned when I was involved with the Tea Party. The thing about conservatives, dude, it's like herding cats. It's hard to get them to roll in the same direction. The building pretty much has to be on fire for everybody to agree. We're getting out of here. But aside from that, everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got to be educated or, you know, assuaged or whatever the case may be. And this is why when I was running for the mayor, this is one of the things I noticed. There is no overarching ideals that we can aspire to and rally around. That's the reason why everything is in chaos. It used to be the gospel of Jesus Christ that undergirded so much of our government, and now that has been splintered by the evil ones, and now we don't have anything to rally around, so we get what we're getting.
Yeah, until it comes to a crash in the end, then maybe people will wise up and say, "Oh, maybe we should have done something about that big deficit." When it comes crashing, or when the rest of the world decides they're not going to subsidize America's way of life anymore, because that's how we're being held up right now. The rest of the world hasn't gotten together enough to say, okay, let's dump this dollar and let's get something else. Because these folks, because Washington is nuts. We can't keep accepting all these worthless bills they keep spitting out.
Right.
So that's what's holding us up right now. The rest of the world hasn't decided to do that yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, look, either way, this thing is going to come to a climax one way or the other. The deep state is going to push the world into World War III, trying to defeat Trump, or Trump is going to be successful and their world is going to be a World War III type scenario for them. But the bottom line is the status quo is not going to stand, and this is why I keep trying to tell black folks, get on the side of righteousness, because you're not going to be able to stand over there where you are right now. It feels good right now, and everybody you know is over there, but hell's like the same way, bro.
Yeah, they're really greatly underestimating the American people when it comes to, war with Russia. They think that they've gotten us hating Putin. No, we don't. We don't hate Putin. We don't hate Russia. We don't want world. If you always want to start World War III on the ground, you'll be the one fighting it. That's what's going to end up happening. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get a bunch of people just rallying around taking down Putin. Nope, that ain't going to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to crash and burn everything, fine, you'll be the one fighting it.
Yep.
We won't.
We won't. And when they start drafting folks to go fight over in Russia, I'm going to say, bye. Let's get us some of this riffraff off the street. Because I'm not of draft age. They're gonna get Here's the Thing John before they get me. They'll get his butt off.
It's not going to happen, and I don't know what they're thinking. First of all, most likely the war won't be on the ground. It'll be with AI and drones and that kind of thing. But those drones can do just as much damage here. If we can do to them, Russia can do to us.
Well,
so you start toppling a few buildings here. I
think it's just a matter of time before we're going to get a taste of what we just gave Russia with those drones. See, this is what I keep saying. They keep stirring up stuff. They keep the world embroiled in war. It's just evil. Yeah. It's just evil. And this is why I keep saying to the black community, which is in other words, if the black vote was fluid and we were up on the issues, man, we could be power brokers in this country. But like I said, April Chapman said, we're slaves looking for slave masters. Black people aren't happy until we subjugated. Then we complain about being subjugated, like we really gave a damn. When we had freedom, we didn't keep it. No, this is insanity.
Okay, man.
All right, brother. Let's take a quick break. All right, folks. We're back. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to John. Hey, John.
Hey, let me come. Okay.
You're going.
Hey, wait a minute. I got the radio off. Listen, the guy in the morning, he was talking, and I couldn't get to my phone because I left my phone in the truck. I left my phone somewhere. But he was talking about it was no blacks in D-Day and all that other stuff. They don't know. But the gentleman that got killed, Medgar Evers,
yes,
he was in D-Day.
Yep.
And you look back, I seen a documentary on some of the stuff he did and everything and how he stood up and everything else. That was a real man.
Mm-hmm.
And, people documentary people like that. But Medgar Evers was in D-Day. And he landed on the beaches over there. And he was, and he stood up to, in the 60s, got killed off Dutch Drive. But he was a real hero. And he landed on the beaches of D-Day. And I couldn't get through this morning. But anyway, I thought the day is D-Day and everything. But, it mentioned people that been there. And not many people know that. I've watched a couple of documentaries on him before. Very interesting man and everything.
I wasn't. I knew. Go ahead.
Medgar Evers, Charles' brother.
Right. Yeah, I knew he was in. I know both of them were World War II vets. I didn't know he was at D-Day.
Yeah, he was at D-Day, and he's a real man now. When he stood when he was over here before he got killed, he stood up like a man. All these whiners over here, what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make you one day. This is D-Day, so I didn't get a chance to get through this morning, but I thought that was very interesting.
It is.
When I found out, and people don't know that.
I did not know that. I didn't know he was at D-Day. I knew he was in World War II, and
But this is a documentary. I think it was on 29. He's stationed there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen it. I can't remember where I seen it. I seen it a couple, and very interesting gentleman. Look at his history and see what I saw. So I just wanted to run that past you and everything. People don't even know that. And, they're all just whining. He was a man. He stood up and took it like Trump. Everybody else. What he had to do, he did. So.
All right, brother.
I just want to let you know that.
Well, you let us all know now. You educated us, brother. We appreciate you.
Hey, you have a great day, okay?
Thanks, John. Good talking at you, buddy.
Okay.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back. All right, folks, we are back, and it is Friday. Glad to be back here in the studios, and it's your host. Who? It's Kim Wade, Radio Strongman. I'm coming to you live from WYAB 1039 FM. Folks, it is an open forum if you want to get out. The topics that I've been on, time is going to bear witness to the things that I've said. It's irresponsible, in my estimation, for leadership of any kind to constantly promote this notion that you don't have to do anything and everybody else is going to do it. Why would you do that? And why would a demographic that you have referred to as your ops, your opposition, or people who oppose you and your people, why are you on your best behavior around them and then come to us and tell us things that aren't true about the so-called ops? So how do you grow out of a lie? This is what I say to the black community. How do we fix this? If we're going to build our house on lies and half-truths, how does this work? It's because we don't have the theologians, we don't have the heavyweights in our community anymore. The folks who just know right from wrong and speak it forthrightly, flat-footed. Now everybody try to couch everything in how much they love everybody. That ain't cutting it. Go into Chancery Court and tell the judge about how much you love your kids, but you are rearing your child support, and there's evidence that you have the ability to pay, but you just didn't pay. But you're trying to convince the judge how much you love your kids. It's going to fall on deaf ears. This is what I was saying about the whole forgiveness thing. Why isn't there any interest in trying to figure out what is... There's obviously sin in our camp, y'all. There's sin in our camp. But there's so much flesh in our camp that we can't even consider. Well, I'm not apologizing. What they did, I'm never going to. Okay, but what are you bound by in the word? So you ain't going to do it. And then you wonder about the conditions? And God said he's going to lord over his word and that he would not be mocked. You done heard somebody else's report that you believe, it sounds like. That's why I said I can sit here and pat my... Look, I'm not Jeff Good's enemy. I'm not John Horns or Robert Gibb. I'm not their enemy. That crap doesn't work. What they're proposing is not going to work. And they're dragging all the rest of us behind them. When all you got to do is just ask a few questions when you're proposing these projects. What is it we're trying to do? Where are we going with this? What's going to be the outcome? What is this going to cost us long term, short term, now? They act like they don't have to. They act like they don't have to answer any questions. You know why they act that way? Because they're in charge. And look how cavalier they are with everybody else's lives when their lives are squared away. They didn't care about you drinking Dookie water. Hell, you didn't even care about drinking Dookie water until they got a white man on the hook, Tate Reeves, when he came in and tried to save us from ourselves. Now we got a system that mathematically cannot operate on its own, regardless of who controls it. And yet we want to add that black crap on top of it so that some minority contractors can, you know what? When are you minority contractors going to get your weight up? How many more millions? Give us a number that you want to get to, just like with Benny. You got 80 million now, and you left here broke when you went to D.C. You're up to 80 million. How many more millions you going to need before you help somebody else out? And then we won't even do the minimum. This is why I'm so strident in my conversation about this, because of what they're doing to our kids and what they won't do for our kids, which is raise them up, educate them, train them, socialize them, teach them the word of God. We're not doing this in sufficient numbers to sustain the community. And we still laughing and giggling. You know why? Because we still got a few cans of food on the cupboard. We got a few dollars above breakfast. We feeling pretty good about ourselves. But remember, we ain't always been here, where we had a few cans on the shelves, where we had a few dollars. We ain't always been here. But we forgot. We done got it. Now that we eating regular, we done forgot about the hard times that brought us the wisdom. Now we doing everything but and that's the key to whether or not any community is doing what it's supposed to do. And as I said to Mr. Montgomery when he was here on Wednesday, folks don't want to hear what I'm saying, but the truth of the matter is, as a percentage, there's more whites following Christ in the tenets of Christ. And it's reflected in their neighborhoods and their behavior and their kids, and they're spending time with their kids. I know black people spend time with their kids, but you know what, Hoss? It ain't enough. So when you start doing the equivalency crap, it ain't enough. We got to get our numbers up. Ain't nobody interested in that. Everybody's interested in a paycheck. So when John Horn goes to bring the water department back up under the city of Jackson for the purposes of making sure the minority contractor is going to be able to get some of that work, the marketplace is going to it's probably going to give us a jaunter's eye. Because remember, We had it up under our control, and we screwed it up. In many cases with the same contractors. But we can't even do good for ourselves because we're being held hostage by the black Democrats. As I pointed out to you about the judges, the CCID judges they were trying to get. The only reason why we can't have them is because of black Democrat leadership with bar cards. I mean, I understand why they want to do it, but dude, how many people have to die in these streets because of this crime that's out of control? Well, in their case, they don't care how many more got to die, as long as they get that slot. Because if you a lawyer that's a millionaire and you bankroll a campaign for a lawyer who eventually comes on to become judge, and he rules on your asbestos case, your fin case, or your cigarette case, you could be up $1 billion. You see why they want it? It's understandable. I can get my head around it. But I'm just saying, dog, how many of us got to die? Brother man. And see, y'all get mad at me because my campaign, I'm saying, dude, let us do for self. We can do this. I'm offering the people liver and onions, and he's offering them ice cream. I understand. Heck, I like ice cream, too. I don't know why Blue Bell hadn't gotten a Nobel Prize. I can't get my head around that. These people come up with some good ice cream. So the question is, will black folks reform themselves before we kill ourselves? Where would you put your lunch money if you had to bet? And I'm going to tell you now, but for Christ stepping in or white folks pulling their hand back and making us stand on our own 2 feet, it ain't. For them to do that, it'd be no different than burping a baby. You're not withholding that bottle from that baby because you don't want them to have the nourishment in the bottle. You're doing it so that they'll be able to have more nourishment going forward and enjoy it more with less discomfort. See, we used to understand simple truths like that back in the day when we were Negroes. But once we became black Democrats, we ain't worth a flip. And I'm not getting up off of this. So the city of Jackson and all the black girl magic that John Horner has behind him, you guys got a chance to prove yourselves. I'm going to tell you now, I don't think you're going to do it. I don't think you're going to do it. On paper, you got the capabilities to do it. You're not going to do it. And the reason why I think you're not going to do it, because you're beholden to the Democrat Party. And the Democrat Party ain't never wanted black folks to do well. Matter of fact, they don't want anybody to do well but them. But if you're able to do it, you'll be doing just what I said on the campaign trail. So why Jackson got to go out like Memphis and New Orleans and Atlanta with all the crime and murders? I said, why won't we do something different? So now they got a chance to prove it. I'm going to tell you now, they're not going to do it. They're incapable of doing it. They don't have permission from the white Democrats to do it. Write it in blood. I've been around 40 years. The pattern is clear and unbroken. It don't make a difference how much money you give a black Democrat, schooling, resources, titles. They are not going to parlay it into any kind of watch. Canton's getting ready to get an infusion of cash from the Nissan, Amazon plants that's going in up there. It's not going to move the needle in their educational system. It's going to be a crap hole 20 years from now if they get that money tomorrow. Because the people don't love the kids, man. They love jobs. They love their job. They love being the first, this, that, or the other. They ain't interested in doing a good job. That's what got me when I saw Tommy Green's swan song letter in the Clarion Ledger about when she was retiring. I was the first, this, that, and that. Man, why don't you be the first black to do something positive? Nope. They just like Al Sharpton, he just wanted to be in the White House. Met with President Obama 350-some times over 8 years. What do we have to show for it? Stacey Abrams, $2 billion cash. She got it last month. She went through $1 billion in 1 year. Where's the black community or any community better off from it? They stealing from us, dog, in the name of blackness. I tell you, black Democrats, the Travis Hunter of politics, ain't got a damn clue. I'm about to get robbed. Get turned out. Travis is going to end up with his pockets turned out, just like the black Democrat. We don't make gains when the Democrats are in power, and when they're out of power, black Democrats feel it's their job to go on the offense, sword fighting every Republican they see, rather than saying, hey, how can I work with the Republicans and get something for my people? They don't do any of that. This is a hopeless cause, this approach. And you fall for it. Derek Johnson and Benny comes back to town every couple weekends, and y'all just fawn all over them. Let me just take a picture with him. Ask them to do something. Tell Derek to come back and give us a status report of what the NAACP has done this year for black folks. Go on WMPR. Matter of fact, why isn't the NAACP supporting WMPR? Why isn't the NAACP and Benny, when they travel around the country, driving money to Piney Woods? Because we're full of crap. I ain't even got to look at Piney Woods' budget, and I'm willing to bet you $10 to a donut the bulk of their budget's coming from white folks. We're full of crap, y'all. You don't want to hear it, but you know what? So what? So what are you going to do about it? Ain't nothing you can do. You can't prove me wrong. You won't elevate your game. Hinds County Board of Supervisors gave the Jackson State Foundation $1 million. Ask them what they did with it. They just stealing from us, dawg. Nothing's getting fixed. Millions and billions of dollars going through our community, and they getting and the thing about it, the way they're taking this money, they can't even invest it in the black community because they don't want nobody to know they got it. This is how these devils work us. If we were getting the money legitimately, then we could, hey, brother, you need $10,000 to get your startup going here. But we got, oh, man, you got a real, man, I wish I could help you. Sucking their teeth. Bro, we ain't going nowhere. We're dead in the water. We one and done. We one generation. We blew it. John Horn's got a chance to prove it. He ain't going to do it because he's beholden to the grifters that brought us here. There's no strategy with our investment policies. There's no strategy when we get into office, what we're trying to do. I remember being on the campaign trail, and they're going to tell me regarding the question of kids and education, well, that's not the mayor's job. Man, did you ever watch any episodes of Andy Griffin? When the town had a problem, they met at the barbershop, and they had everybody there, the butcher, the baker, the candle, everybody was there. They didn't say education is not. Black folks, we do everything but what works. Black folks always angling, we need to be in charge of a state. Why aren't you interested in being in charge of the Department of Education? Well, we nominated somebody for that. Well, bruh, you got enough weight down there. Your word should be law. Y'all vote as a block. As long as the Black Caucus been down there, y'all ain't collecting no IOUs to get nothing done? Damn. Philip Gunn came into the legislature, rose all the way up to the Speaker of the House, and I think he was done in 20 years. Black folks been down there 30, 40 years, same positions. Why is that? And yet they so loyal because they won't play the game effectively. They go in there looking to be suckers. It's a black politician right here out of the city of Jackson. That's the chief opponent to school choice. Why are we wedded to public schools? What do we owe to public schools? Why shouldn't we be telling the public schools, you get your act together, we'll support you 100%. We don't ask for anything. And our kids, again, you can measure. All you got to do is look at what we're doing or not doing for our kids. We do it for the illegals' kids. Let's take a break. All right, folks. Well, we're back. Okay, we got Sylvia on the line. Hey, Sylvia.
Hey, Tim.
What's up?
I just wanted to tell you something. You know, with President Trump and Eli,
okay,
they'll get over this. There's just a spat that they're having, like father-son type spat. And since, they're men, and men aren't catty like women, so they'll get past this and it won't be that big of a deal anymore. And Elon has said some yuck things, but you know what? President Trump's above those comments that he made, and Elon knows that he cannot go toe-to-toe with President Trump. But it's going to pass, and they'll be all right. And that was really all I wanted to say. And you have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would agree. It's going to pass. Look, it's called life. Man, going down the road of life with anybody is not easy. This is why I get so disappointed when I hear people constantly dropping salt on this man's effort. Even when he falls short, man, damn, you ain't done any of this stuff. You sitting around here like you're a talk show host, just criticizing and man, okay. Like I said before, if you get done killing the warrior, who's going to fight for you? Because you ain't going to fight for yourself. Like I said, at this point in my life, I ain't putting up with crap. I'm not putting up with N's, W's, or anybody else. I'm not putting up with that crap. If it's BS, it's BS. People trying to run that, I ain't the one. Today's not the day. WAPT is reporting that the transition team is being put together by John Horn. He's got Kane Ditto, Robert Gibbs, and Ronnie Crudup on there. Folks, let me just say this here. It's not going to make a difference. But I want you to try. I ain't saying don't try. I'm just saying your effort. The reason why it's not going to work is because you're not inviting people, and you didn't. You encourage people to sit back and believe that you're Mr. Magic, that you're going to come in there with a magic wand and do all these things. You need the assistance of the people. Okay? People are going to have to give of themselves and give more than what they've been given other than the vote for you. I talk to them the same, like I'm talking to you now. Talk to them like adults. Jackson's not going to fix itself because Kane Ditto's getting involved. Kane Ditto's got interests downtown. Hey, I'm glad he's advocating for his interests. But do not get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. This tax base is crumbling for the city of Jackson. And it's crumbling because we got an attitude that change that's required of the citizens of Jackson. And the leadership is just trying to get votes to get into office so they can direct the $350 million towards the projects that they want. Look, I understand that. God bless them. But damn it, we don't need no more midnight basketball courts. You can't turn every vacant building into a 501c3 controlled by New Horizon. You need to create some policies that put people in houses, not rental units. You do that. Benny's placing, he put that, who was the girl in charge of the USDA for the state. I understand that she's trying to get information out there, but the bottom line is, guys, you got to have a plan. You need rooftops. Because if you put everybody into, as I pointed out, into these rental units, you're not building generational wealth. You're stealing it. Guys, I'm not warm and fuzzy. I'm pissed. This is getting old, what we're doing. And when all these so-called leaders get done doing their dope boy magic or attempting to do dope boy magic with John Horn, after you get done trying it, then I want to know where the hell were you at for the last 30 years? Oh, you wanted the right black person. So that's what we doing now? We ain't doing policy. We doing right black people. Because I know I ain't the right black person for you. Because I don't play that crap. If it's BS, we not doing it. We ain't doing no under the table deal, no sketchy stuff. John's a deal maker. So they know what they're getting in him. But I'm going to tell you now, it ain't going to work. He's bringing in Willie Bozeman as interim chief of staff. That's good. It's not going to make a difference. You're dealing with black Democrats. It ain't magic, y'all. We got an attitude problem. Black Democrats hate this country. They love money, but they hate this country. And as I said before, if you don't fix the schools, and you think you'll be able to talk to the superintendent, he black like you. Because since blackness is supposed to be the unifying thing we got going, he ain't interested in these kids getting an education. As long as they got some schools for the black elites and the white liberals who want to send their kids to public schools so they can say they send them to public schools, the rest of the schools are going to hell in a handbasket. You see, McWillie wasn't on one of the schools to be shut down, was it? And they draw kids from all over the city, right? Are they bust in or do they drive them in on their own? Do they drive in on their own? Because if it's a magnet type school, they're not drawn from the kids in the neighborhood, are they? Are the kids in the neighborhood able to just apply to McWillie and then whatever's left over goes to the elites? Is that how that goes? As I said before, and I said this on the campaign trail, what I noticed about the plans that were being articulated on the campaign, I said, these are programs for old folks. What about the kids? I'm sure King Diddle's kids are grown by now. And I don't think, it's not a matter where he hates the state. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, dude, stop it. Why are we doing this like this? Because black folks don't have a vision. They don't have anything written down. They're going with whatever they suggest. Fix the schools, John. Fix the schools. No. You are more than the mayor. Because the same folks who nominated you are the same people who rule on who the next school board president is going to be. And there's somebody on there keep bringing in these gays. I got some names and I'm surprised at them, but I ain't, whatever. I ain't drinking behind them fools. I can believe that. No. Give me a bottle with a cap on it. I got to loosen it up myself. But like I said before, I ain't trying to drop salt on you. I'm telling you, your policies don't work. You know they don't work. They're going to work for you because you're trying to save downtown, and God knows downtown needs to be saved. But why don't you talk to your coalition members at the stew pot and say, look, we need y'all to move your operations away from downtown so we can get it to come back. You'll find out ain't nobody interested in doing that because everybody's doing it for themselves. Again, ain't nobody doing it for the kids. Guess when they're willing to help the kids after the kids done got in trouble? When they could have just gave the kids an education. If we need to change our educational approach for the first 8 years of those kids' lives and just teach them, you're still teaching them reading, writing, and arithmetic on grade level, kindergarten, first, second, and third. You're just not testing them. The bulk of their days is learning how to clean up behind themselves so we won't have a nasty city like we have, and how to get along with others. Don't you think the community needs that right now? You think they'll do it? Nope. Because they're not interested in those solutions. They don't have permission from white Democrats to educate black kids. And oddly enough, back when we were Negroes and education was separate but unequal, kids got a better education. Now we got blacks in charge of everything, and kids can't even, they can't even spell their own name on their diploma. You're not being put down. You're just being observed. So let's see what they're going to bring. Let's see what this agenda is. I'm telling you now, you're going to fail. And guess what? If you succeed, I still win. The city wins. But I'm trying to dissuade you from the path of being so damn selfish like you've been the last 30-something years, so-called city fathers. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't really impressed with all these mentoring programs the way it's been administered. And the reason why, look at the kids. Why don't you just educate the kids? Quit breaking their lives at the front end, and you won't be trying to repair old men later on. Because they don't think education's important. The real reason is because you can write a grant. And some old gray hair folks can live off of it. Again, it's their hustle. It's their grind. I ain't trying to break their plate. But I'm just saying there'll be more money available if we would just adjust. 113 square miles of real estate and the black man can't feed himself in Jackson, Mississippi. And the black man ain't even embarrassed. Let's take a break. bump, bump. All right, folks, we're back. Hey, people ask me all the time, Kim, is there a man I can talk to about land, about real estate? Well, there is. Top Cat, Tom Smith, TomSmithLandandHomes.com, folks. Again, they closing 1.5 loans a day, 365 days a year, statewide, region-wide. The man is on top of his game. Here's an investment opportunity with Tom Smith Land and Homes. Who's got this? Chad Wilson down. He's got this listed down there in Lawrence County, sitting on 2.5 acres. It's a mobile home park. You're interested in mobile home parks for $250,000? You can have this one here, a mixture of park-owned, tenant-owned units. Approximate 5 to 6 open pads remain for expansion. Has city and water sewer on all sites. Internet available. Potential to increase the cash flow on this, sitting on 2.5 acres. Chad Wilson has this listed if you're interested and you're into the mobile home park type thing. And there are those out there making good living off of that. Yeah, it's a good grind, particularly out there and down there in Lawrence County, be a good place for it. Still receptive to it. Let's see. One other one here I want to tell you about. Oh, here's Bruce West got this listed up here in Holmes County for $118,000. You're looking for a nice, this is about 1,100 square foot commercial log cabin building in Belzoni. It's sitting on a spacious 3-acre lot, a large front porch. Man, this is a nice little, if you want a nice little, I don't know what could go in there. Nice little office, I guess, or a little knick-knack shop there in Belzoni for $118,000. They're ready to rock and roll. Give Bruce West a call, and he'll give you all the information on it. Or go to TomSmithLandandHomes.com, click on Holmes County. In the case of the mobile home park, click on Lawrence County and get all the information that you need. So, again, it's a great opportunity to be had. Let's see. I did want to tell you about that one there. And, yep, that's what I want to let you know about. And, yep. All right. Our number 601-879-0002. We got Chris on the line. Hey, Chris. How you doing? Hey, man.
Hey, look, somebody was hitting on the Boston up there.
The mayor of Boston.
She knew whatever, she I don't let my police listen sign of knock seals and all this. All these dudes are doing is trying to protect themselves. They don't want to get the COVID. They don't want to get the measles. They don't want to get the scabies because these people ain't been vaxxed. True. I mean, they're trying to do the job to catch these illegals, but that one they just brought back due process, they proved he's a human trafficker. Yeah. Let's go and catch some of these Antifa people and these Black Lives Matter due process that burnt stuff down.
Well, and see, that's the thing. I mean, our FBI and DOJ under the new leadership has so much on their plate. I mean, there's so many targets that they could go after. You'd have to gallop off in all directions to go after everybody, and that's not feasible or possible. That's why I said, the main thing is we got to stand on our square. Whatever it is that we say, if our cause is right and we believe in it, stand on it. We allow these people to get us in conversations discussing the nuances of whatever's going on. No, I just say, no, this is how it's going to be. End of story. Suck it up. Get over it. If not, then you'll die. If not, we don't care.
Well, just like, where was all these judges that screaming all this stuff when Biden was in there? I'm hoping Trump now is going to go in there and prove that Biden didn't sign and pass all these executive orders and these pardons, and they had to be remiss and pull back.
Well, that's one.
And I think that's what's going on. A lot of them's getting scared. Like, wait a minute, they finna find out some stuff. The deep state, like this. I opened this thing with him and Eli is just.
I mean,
which the testosterone you gonna do that, but I'm hoping it's just to get everybody. You know what I'm saying? Pull the wool over their eyes and come out. Boom.
Well, it could be a sting operation because I'm sure the deep state is going to approach Elon so he can figure out, okay, so what is it, become a double agent, I mean, there's a lot of permutations and possibilities. The left is out there rubbing their hands together, hoping for the worst. And I'm saying, dude, this is why I just threw my hands up. These people really want this country to fail, just for them to be right. And that's what I'm saying. I recognize them for who they are and what they do. I ain't trying to see them any other way other than what they're presenting.
Well, it's time to push back. I mean, because you watch them, they go in front of. And last time I checked, if you put your hands on your cop, that's a felony. Like with I forgot, the congresswoman, the mayor, when they went up there and done all that.
Right.
persecute them, just like you and I. If we was to do some of that, they put us under jail because we're conservative, back in the Biden days especially.
That's right.
Now it's time to push back, fight back. Now, look, we've had enough. We tried to be peaceful. We tried to let you do your little gay thing. That's fine and dandy, but now you're trying to push all this other stuff. Just like, did you see the little girl that won the track meet? She put a fire extinguisher and they disqualified her, and then what's the first thing they're going to scream? Racism. That's in California. That don't happen in California.
Like I said,
She endangered people's health by breaking out this fire extinguisher, just like hollering fire in a movie theater.
but everybody has such a strong sense of entitlement about what they should be able to do and what they want to do and all this stuff. Like I said, if we don't hold the line, these losers are going to destroy everything. They don't care. They're in a suicide cult, dog.
What's like Jasmine Crawford? They was brought up not being told no, being spoiled, getting everything. Now that has matured and become adults. Now they're in our system.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really in a rude awakening for this next Brown that's going to be coming up through here. Because like you were talking about going to war and all, ain't nobody over here that in that age group's going to go fight.
Oh, if you just look at them physically, shoot, no.
They ain't capable. I mean, that's what I saw do the other day talking about that. They ain't strong enough to be in the military, but they're strong enough to win women's sports. They're dudes.
That's a good point. It's insane.
That thing between the legs. I mean, come on.
That's why I said if you're not grounded in what you believe, this stuff will drive you crazy. And many people are. I mean, they're losing their minds. They don't know what to do. And I'm saying, dude, so what? You've been studying this word all this time. What are you leaning? I can't get my head around it.
I was going to try to call you in the first hour. You hit on something a while ago that opened up my eyes when you was talking about Jackson's going to become a hub. Mm-hmm. You know the business I'm in and everything.
Right.
And we've been doing a lot of these mental hospitals and stuff.
Right.
Because I think Biden and them and Congress was doing government money to slang this, and I think that was a way to get their villages, like you was talking about with the housing, to get people on government that ain't going to do nothing else but lay up and have babies and talking about how they being mistreated and everything because they're getting a check. And now they're getting upset because they start to cut a lot of that off. Yeah, I'm sorry, starve.
Right.
Learn how to skin a cat out.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't going to go hungry, but you're going to sit there and live off my dime. I want to do good. I would like to get a lot of that money they take out of my check.
That's right. Well, like I said, I'm approaching life, and I approach this government, and I was approaching my campaign the same. Everybody's got something to contribute. I ain't trying to hear, if you eating every day or you want to eat every day, you're going to contribute something. I ain't trying to hear your sob story. I don't doubt that you have a good one. You still got to put in some work, dog.
And Kim, you had the right part about it, and you made sense on that. That's what it takes. We got to get back into helping each other and want to have something and be proud and know that you got out there and earned it. I walk to my boss, man. I don't walk up there like a crawfish. I walk my hand held forward and proud because I know I earned what I'm finna get.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's wrong with this country. Everybody think they owed a free handout, and you supposed to take care of me because I was no.
Yeah.
And you was on the right campaign. We could get a bus together. I wonder if you go up here doing. Hey, get out here and help get them things you cut the grass with. You ain't got to have a lawnmower. We can take care of this stuff.
That's right. Give them a sickle.
Then you go and be proud of what you earned your food for today.
There you go. You know, Rodney DePriest made a good point. He said, setting up these food tables and stuff, feeding folks. Yeah, you get a plate when you bring in a bag of garbage. Not one you done took out somebody's garbage can. No, you bring in a bag of garbage where you done picked up around Poindexter Park somewhere. But just feeding them. Bro, we keep doing, like I said, don't act surprised why the city going down. Because you got everybody feeling so good about them. They go home to Madison and the city continues to deteriorate. And that's what I'm saying. Bro, this is not going to work.
Them ones sleeping out there in the tents. I want to go and see where you're sleeping. Mm-hmm. If I go up there, you better have it clean, your campsite neated up and everything, and you're trying to pick up around that. Not you going there and eating these free meals we're giving you, throwing the trash on the ground right there where you're sleeping.
We're back. And find a few minutes up. The Kim Wade Show, the Gun and Knife Club, begins in earnest in another 4 minutes. Run! Save yourselves. Oh, my God. Look, regarding the city of Jackson, I stand 10 toes down on everything you heard me say. At the end of 4 years, actually it's going to happen before then, because in order for this administration to be successful, they're going to have to do the things that I said on the campaign trail. You're going to have to demand more of the citizens of Jackson. Quit treating them like kids. Talk to them like adults. Explain to them what's going on with the city. If you don't do that, you're just running a scam. If you want to be successful, you're going to do exactly what I said. So, folks, when you see them doing what I say, they ain't doing it because I'm saying it. They're doing it because it's what's required to be successful. I didn't withhold any of the ideas that I said I would do as mayor. They're already out there. You can already implement them. And the things that I was talking about on the campaign trail don't require a dime. And you'll see an improvement financially, in the tax base, and in the people. They don't want to do it because that's not how they've been making their money. They're going to fail. Kane Diddle's going to fail. John Horn's going to fail. Robert Gibbs is going to fail. Ronnie Krudup's are going to fail. Because the ideals don't work. Their ideals are patronizing. They need to talk to us like they talk to themselves. Or they're clear-eyed about what they want. Come tell us. Talk to us like men and women. That's the problem in the black community. There's too many weak men, number one, and then you don't talk to us like men. Look at how they talk to us. It's always lack. The leadership always talk about, oh, we know you ain't got enough for this. You can't do that. You can't pay that. Just remember, water is $3 million in the hole every month. Put $70,000 into $3 million, and that's how much they got to charge each ratepayer to make this thing work. That's on top of the bill that you already getting, okay? You need to understand that. That's barring anything else going wrong. So the goal is, if they're going to be successful, they're going to do exactly what Kim Wade said on the campaign trail. Write it in blood. And if they don't, it's just going to prove what Kim Wade's been saying for the last 35 years on the radio. This kabuki dancing between guilt-ridden whites and grifting blacks is what brought us here. And we're going to see if this same group can fix the problems that they cause. I'm sitting back with my fingers crossed to see how this turns out. We're going to take a break. Be back in 70 hours. Who loves you?